Do I think Fat Ass 45 will refuse to leave office if he loses the election? Yes. Do I think he'll be able to wield his powers to prevent a legitimate result? Yes. Do I think he loves musing about sticking around no matter what? Absolutely. And that's one of the many reasons we must stop giving him openings to weave fantasies and stop the mass freakouts that routinely ensue from the stupid shit he says. Um, Fat Ass 45's squatter for life shtick serves him in many ways. Just look at the attention he's gotten from his answers to questions this week about whether he would commit to a peaceful transfer of power. Well, we're going to have to see what happens and whether the results are only legitimate if he wins. We want to make sure the election is honest, and I'm not sure that it can be. Has any other squatter ever been asked these questions like this, and would any other squatter have answered this way? Both are unimaginable. Um, okay, here we go. Um, but Fat Ass 45 loves to sow doubt and hand wringing, and this is the kind of the Democrats' red meat that fuels his inbred base. He and him and his inbred base rebel in his whole in his role as a foe and iconoclast. They must know that he's a rich they must know that he's a rich man's son, um, and a poor and possibly rich Ivy League graduate himself, which he really isn't. He hangs out with millionaires at his own Mar-a-Lago resort, and CBS News reported basically and told them that he after the tax cut he signed in 2017 that he made the rich a lot richer. Fat Ass 45's pose as an enemy of the elite is pure fiction, but his inbred base seem happy to play along with it. Um, and that affinity for international strongmen, those those not so veiled threats to occupy the Oval Office come what may in the election. These are futures of Fat Ass 45's appeal, not bugs. As Bill Clinton memorably put it in 2002, when people feel uncertain, they rather have somebody that's strong and wrong than somebody who's weak and right. In fact, Fat Ass 45's supposed strength arises from weakness. He is trying desperately to postpone his long-delayed season of reckoning. Who would doubt that he'd happily depart the deflector shield of the White House to run the Fat Ass 45 TV or some other Fat Ass 45 centric media venture if he did not fear prosecution and possibly prison? The tragic defense, the tragic deference shown by Special Counsel Robert Miller and the Republican senators he counted on to hold Fat Ass 45 accountable has brought us to this pass. It's only logical for Fat Ass 45 to see the squad and see as his best hope for avoiding consequences in the long arm of New York legal authorities. Backed up by his helpful Justice Department and other dumbasses, Fat Ass 45 is speeding up to the temple of his attacks on the U.S. democratic process, planting lies and sowing suspicions about mail ballots, fraud, foreign interference, and the legitimacy of the votes counted after Election Day. He's also escalating, but not just raising public doubts about whether he'll accept the results, but according to the Atlantic, Lane plans to keep those results in limbo until crucial deadlines pass. Chaos reigns. Inauguration Day dawns on January 20th, and while possession being 9/10 of the law in all. Progressive strategist Annette Schenker Osorio, host of the Words to Win By podcast, put it simply in a messaging guide for Democrats. Fat Ass 45 knows he can't win, so he's trying to cheat. Nothing has stopped Fat Ass 45 yet, not even a Congress presented with enough evidence weekly to impeach him many times over. Um, but many of the Republicans who ignored Fat Ass 45's blatantly unimpeachable acts and kept him in office are now saying America will have a peaceful transfer of power that nothing can stop it, not even Fat Ass 45. A unanimous Senate reinforced the message Thursday by passing a resolution committing to a peaceful transfer. There are also signs that the sleeping giant of the U.S. military has awoken and is on alert. Washington Post columnist David Ignatius reported last week that the U.S. Cyber Command has taken proactive steps, and it says it will make it impossible for Russia or anyone else to disrupt voting systems in the states. There is no indication that the U.S. military is prepared to allow a Fat Ass 45 coup. In fact, many people see him as a danger. A bipartisan group of nearly 500 retired generals, admirals, and national security officials, including the retired Air Force General Paul Sobel, who until last year was the vice chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff under Fat Ass 45, came out and endorsed Joe Biden on Thursday. They called Fat Ass 45 not equal to the enormous responsibilities of his office and the challenges of dealing with a world on fire. With the world on fire, anyway. In reality, Fat Ass 45 is swinging in his metaphorical bat not at America's elite, but at its democracy and institutions from the FBI, CIA, and military to the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and to the ballots and elections that will determine his fate, and determine it they will. So if you like the video, give the video a like and subscribe to my channel, Random Mike, and also hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when a new video comes out, and thanks for listening.